Happy Friday, fam. First point, don't ever doubt me. I always get things done. And this one graph we're going to look at today. Now, yesterday I was saying, hey, I don't really post a lot of graphs, but, I've got a bunch to show you. This is kind of what we were talking about yesterday. Well, today, after having seen how much people love the graphs, how much good feedback that I got from that, I've got another graph for you. This is the graph of all graphs. If you really want to understand what's going on with real estate prices, why are they so high? Why is Derrick so bullish? Is it just because he's a loan guy? Is that the reason why he says real estate's going to go higher? Because he wants us to believe it, because he wants us to get a loan from him? Fair question. Fair question. I am a loan guy. NMLS 155010. Call, text, email if you want to buy a REFI. But that's not the reason. And if you've watched my videos for years, you know I've been bearish many times. And guess what? I've been wrong. I've been wrong when I've been bearish. I've yet to be wrong when I'm bullish. Let's look at this graph. This is the one graph everyone needs to see. Everyone needs to know. And by the way, this is courtesy of Barry Abib, Dan Abib, mbshighway.com. This is the graph I've been looking for. I've been looking for this for so long. And now we finally have it. The inventory chart. Here it is. Now, what's really important to pay attention to on this, we're going back to 1983 here. The inventory chart now, okay, look at the peak before the crash. Inventory 3.7 million homes. This is nationwide. Currently, 1.2 million. Now, the thing that's really important to pay attention to there, between these two, just from, we're talking pre-crash, because remember, people keep telling me crash. I'm telling you, it's not happening. It's not going to happen. It, in fact, may be statistically impossible to happen. It may be. There's so many things that would have to go uber wrong so quickly. That's why we're gonna start right here today. I got a bunch more stuff, but we're gonna start right here. I want everyone to understand this. If you want to understand why I'm telling you, buy real estate, do it quickly as you can, comfortably as you can, because look at what's happening to inventory. Now, in the run-up of inventory that's happened here, we have lots and lots of building going on, tons and tons of building going on. We had a lot of builders who'd been in business for a long time. All those builders are out of business. A lot of what remains is just the big guys. There's actually another graph I could have shown you today, but I didn't want to go too graph heavy today, just showing how much the builders are pulling back right now. Builders are pulling back in a major, major way right now. They're pulling back huge because they oversold their inventory. So we have 1.2 million homes currently, but look, here's the key. This is the key factor right here. Bottom right, bubble. 12 million more households. What's a household? A household is, you and your family that live in one unit, right? So 12 million more households than we had back at the peak, but yet we have dramatically less inventory. 1/3. We have 1/3 of the inventory, but we have 12 million more households. That is significant. Okay, and this is all the way through 2020. And that sort of helps you understand how this has taken place, how we've gotten to a point where you're looking for homes to rent, you're looking for homes to buy. There's so few out there. Look at what's going on. Way little inventory. And so we talked yesterday about, okay, well, where could more inventory come from? Well, the inventory fairy could sprinkle some dust on us. Maybe that would get us there. Not going to happen. Maybe foreclosures. No, we ruled that out. It's just makes no sense to let a home foreclose right now. You just sell it on the market. Make your money. People aren't that dumb. They're not going to leave that money on the table. Where's the inventory going to come from? Is everyone going to try to leave the country? Is everyone going to say, well, we want to sell. We don't want to be owners anymore. We want to rent? Look at rents. I am looking for a good rent graph, and I'm going to actually build one myself if I have to. So where is it? Where is the inventory going to come from? The problem is the builders can't even keep up with the ongoing demand, much less the backlog of demand, estimated between 5 and 7 million homes. So this is why this is all happening. This is why I'm super bullish. This is why you should be super bullish. This is why you should own real estate. You should own your own home. You should. Or you should at least have a plan to own one way or the other. You got to put that motion in. We got to put that in motion, put that plan in motion. It's called a real estate strategy. And that's what I help people create. Because if you don't have one, you obviously need one. Eventually, let's just say this trend continues. Look at this trend. Let's say this trend continues. It starts to flatten out somewhere. Maybe let's say it flattens out around 800,000 or 700,000, and that's where it stays. What's going to happen to home values? What's going to happen to rents? They're going to skyrocket. It's already happening. They're going to continue to skyrocket. Do you want to be at the whim of that, or do you want to take control of it yourself? That's the question you have to ask. When you buy a house, what you're doing is you're hedging your housing expense. You're saying, all right, I'm going to buy this house. My payment's going to be $3,800 a month. That's my payment. You go in and rent a house for $3,500 a month. That's your payment this year. Next year, your payment's $37. Next year, your payment's $39. Next year, payment's $41. That's how renting works. Buying is a hedge because it fixes your cost. And that's the whole point of hedging, is to fix your cost. So when you buy a home, you're hedging your housing expense, the most expensive monthly expense that you have, unless you own Ferraris or something. Even then, in San Diego, your house is going to cost more. So this is the graph I need you to understand. This is the graph I need you to absorb and know that this is what we're talking about. All right. Let's take a look at the markets. We're going to get to a couple stories here, including one. I'm going to do a victory lap on one. So market's up today across the board. Like, hey, everything's fine. Don't look over there. Nothing going on. Bonds up just slightly, same as interest rates. We'll look at the interest rate chart in a moment. Oil is telling us a story, though, team, and this is what I need everyone to really pay attention to. Oil is telling us a story that there's a problem. There's a global economic problem. And that is what we actually need to listen to. The stock market is much more easily manipulated. People don't pay attention to oil. They don't really know, like, oh, well, what does that mean? And for me, this is a great time to scale into some oil. But I've already got a big position in it. And so, you can scale in at this level if you want to, but just know that it's telling us a story right here, that there's more to what's going on than what is being represented in the stock market. Oil is needed when things are good. Obviously, transporting stuff is a big part of that. Whether it's over the sea or whether it's over land, you need oil. So when those hedges stop coming in, those buy-side hedges stop coming in, it really depresses the price. Now, this could be because of an injection of supply, which is on the way. That's also possible. But we need to pay attention to that. So we're going to be looking closely at oil in the coming days to guide us. Gold just a little under 1,800, almost never moves. Crypto on the move. Now, a lot of people have been asking me about crypto. I'm going to show you something. I actually have a graph here I want to show you on Bitcoin. Almost, it's going to get 50,000. I remember when the crypto market crashed, the guy who I follow that does the best technical analysis, you can look him up, Crypto Capital Venture. His name is Dan on YouTube. He was saying, listen, no matter what, we're going to revisit 50,000. Even whether we have the most bearish case or the most bullish case, we're coming back to 50,000. He was right. We are going to get to 50,000. It's like a magnet, just drawing it in. Here we're at 49 and change on Bitcoin, Ethereum, over 3,200 now. And XRP, again, screenshot that. Like something's going on there. We're going to find out something about XRP here soon. Maybe it could be in the coming weeks or coming months. We're going to find out something's going on. There's big time buying going on there. And I don't think it's short covering, because when a crypto gets to 20 cents, 30 cents, 40 cents, shorting it doesn't make a lot of sense. You start to lose, a lot of the risk reward. So I don't think we're seeing a short cover here. This seems to be organic, big buying that's going on, and it's taking this thing up from like 30 cents to $1.30. So what is going on? Who is buying that? We need to figure that out. Here's something about Bitcoin that you should know. Look at this global market capitalization chart. Okay. Stock markets, 109 trillion. Fixed income, okay, talking about bonds and stuff like that, 123 trillion. Look at these big bubbles. M1 money, I want to explain that. Gold, 11 trillion. Bitcoin, 0.9, teeny tiny. It's just getting started. I know it's hard to believe that when if you had bought $1 worth of Bitcoin the day it first became on sale, you would have 1,300 Bitcoins and you'd have about $70 million now. So your $1 would have turned into 70 million. And a lot of people think, well, okay, it must be over. The run must be over. It is still very early stage. And that is why I'm so bullish. It is so small. It is so much better than all of these other options. So much better than a stock. It's engineered to go higher. The rules are already set. It's just about adoption. And the adoption is happening, and it's happening rapidly. Fixed income, so much better than that. Outperformed all this stuff by a million miles. And it makes no sense why it's so small. It won't be for long. So my suggestion is get a Bitcoin. Don't buy it all at once. Scale into it, but own a Bitcoin. You'll be glad you did. All right, this one's important. Team. I don't care what this article says is the reason why, although it's not bad. It's not bad, so that's why I'm linking to it. But it's important for us to pay attention. What are the ultra wealthy doing? Well, like Bill Gates, Thomas Petterfy, never heard of him. They're investing in U.S. farmland. Why? Well, because a lot of farmland has been developed. One of my best friends back in Missouri, his dad owns 400 plus acres of farmland. Do you know how many times over the years he said no to developers who wanted to come buy that land? It's like 430 acres or something like that. He could have sold it, I think, for $300 an acre at one point. Then it was $3,000 an acre. Now it's $10,000 an acre. We need farmland. We got to make food. We have a growing population. We've got to make food. But a lot of farmland gets sold off, whether it's, the farmer who started it, passes on or can't work it anymore, gives it to the kids, they sell it, whatever. It's happening. A lot of farmland is owned by people who don't farm it. They lease it to the farmers. That's also a huge scam. But land, real estate, this is the end all. At the end of the day, if you can get yourself a good piece of ground, it's really worth taking a look at, especially if it's farmable. And there's some places there's beautiful land all over the country, beautiful land that is available and for sale. It's something that if you have the ability, if you're trying to figure out, hey, where can I park? Like, okay, I'm really heavily invested in, residential real estate. I have this, I have that, I have stocks, I got my 401k, you got all that sorted. Where should I put like $100,000? Look at some land. And try to buy land that is farmable in an area that gets rain. And that will one day be the ultimate currency, will be land. And you'll have guys like Bill Gates knocking on your door offering you insane money for it. This I told you was coming. So United Wholesale Mortgage, which is, they're saying it's the second largest U.S. mortgage lender. I don't think that's true. But I don't know how they're calculating that, but I highly doubt it. UWM is a broker platform. So it's for brokers. And they've said they're going to accept payment in Bitcoin. Now, what I told you was going to happen eventually was that the mortgage industry, there was going to be Bitcoin adoption. There's going to be crypto adoption. There's going to be a company at some point that uses Bitcoin to fund transactions instead of using the federal wires, because it's just dramatically more efficient. It can happen like that. So that's not what's happening here, but they're saying they'll accept payment in Bitcoin. Why would they do that? Well, they're going to charge some sort of exchange fee, just be like, taking pesos or something. You're going to charge an exchange rate, so you have a little buffer in case the market moves against you. But my guess is they believe that Bitcoin is going to go higher. Now, one thing I could probably show you here. Let's see. Do I have we were looking at some real estate over here. One of the reasons why you're going to see more stuff like this happen, and this is probably the biggest story that I haven't covered for whatever reason, just haven't been able to get to it. We're going to look up Coinbase here. Coinbase, after reporting their quarter, basically came out and said, we are going to buy $500 million in crypto, and we're going to be investing future profits into a crypto portfolio. They basically just said, hey, we are the leading crypto exchange, publicly traded. We're out here. We're out in front of this thing. We are going to now be buying crypto. So if you decide to sell your crypto through our platform, we will be taking the profit from your sale that we receive, the fees that we get. We're going to be buying. We're going to be putting a bid on your ask. How crazy is that? This is probably the most bullish news we've seen in crypto. They didn't say Bitcoin. They said crypto. So not necessarily Bitcoin. They did say some other things. They said Ethereum, proof of stake assets, DeFi tokens. They're going to put money into a bunch of stuff. They're going to be very widely invested in cryptocurrency. Why are they doing that? Okay. I own the stock. Full disclosure. They're doing it because writing's been on the wall for some time. Crypto market is only $2 trillion right now. I showed you where the other markets are. Crypto market, a lot more explosive, a lot better technology, makes a lot more sense once you kind of understand how it works than everything else. Makes way more sense. And, you have stuff like Bitcoin, which is more based on, scarcity. It's deflationary. That's needed. Versus like Ethereum, Cardano. These are things that have practical use cases. So if you're not sure about crypto, if you really, don't know, hey, what's the best setup for me? My suggestion is just buy Bitcoin and scale into it. Buy as much as you can every week. It's $100, $50, whatever. Buy as much as you can every week and just keep that on, keep that buy on. Get your Coinbase app, buy your Bitcoin, and don't worry about any of this other stuff. Okay, because that one we know, as sure as you can be, is going to go higher because of the way it's constructed. It's built that way. But one of the reasons why UWM and other companies will start doing this, they'll start accepting Bitcoin, they'll start using Bitcoin, is because upon the exchange, they're going to make money. They're going to charge a fee, and then the expectation is that crypto is going to go higher, especially if more companies realize this. Hey, well, as soon as you get one big buyer, hey, Coinbase is going to do 500 million. Is that going to be per year? They're saying investing future profits into a crypto portfolio. They're going to be investing all the profits into crypto. So now we have a big buyer that's going to consistently be buying. You also have MicroStrategy doing the same thing. They're using Bitcoin as cash replacement. They're not keeping money in cash. They have a very small cash reserve as a buffer. They're buying Bitcoin specifically. Tesla's doing this. Square is doing this. You're going to see Twitter do this too. You're going to see really big companies start doing this. This is what's so bullish about crypto. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Expect that. Watch it. It's not too late. Last but not least. Oh, I'm going to show you a cool link too. I'm going to put this in there today. Someone was asking me, someone posted on Facebook, I believe, how do you calm down if you're stressed out or, you're angry or something like that? This positive energy music that's on a certain hertz frequency is amazing for the soul, for the mind. If you work a lot and you work hard and you work with numbers or you're stressed out, if you can keep something like this on, there's a whole bunch of them. You can see when you pull this one up, there'll be tons of other ones. They have amazing visuals, really, really cool stuff. I will sit sometimes in the evening and just watch this. Just sit on my couch, drinking a soda, watching this. Literally, it's that awesome. All right, let's look at mortgage bonds, and then we're going to call it a week. So as expected from yesterday, remember, we touched this 50% retracement, which is a very macro retracement. We've touched it now 4 times. Rejected. But the one thing I will say, this little trend line here is still kind of intact. Okay, if you really draw this appropriately, right there from the bottom of these candles, it held. So I'm going to be the optimist here and say, you know what? We got a chance. But as you can see, this little triangle here that's being formed is a push come to shove kind of situation. This little guy right here, this is the spot where it's got to happen. So in the next day or two, we're going to see this thing move. My guess is we see it move lower. We see rates go up, especially with the taper talk and all that stuff coming. The Jackson Hole meeting is going to be done virtually for the Federal Reserve. They are probably going to talk about more taper. They're probably going to release more information on a specific tapering plan. It is coming. That should cause the stock market to take a hit. We'll see. It very well could initially cause the bond market to take a hit, and that is what I expect, a pullback. Hope I'm wrong. I hope they say, you know, we talked about tapering. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. You know what? If they did that. Sorry, I got to move myself. If they did that, that would be tremendous. I don't expect that, but that would be tremendous. That'd be great for bonds. Bonds would spike higher, maybe get back above the 200-day moving average. That could spark a whole refinance boom just by itself, but I don't expect that to happen. I think we're going to get some more resistance here and see bond prices go lower. Ergo rates will go up. So I really think now is the time to lock. Although we did hold that trend line, so hope is alive. And with a couple hours left in the day, I've got nothing left to lock today. So I'm not going to worry about it a whole lot. But I'm going to be making some very specific real estate videos, specific to selling, buying, things like that in the near future. Going to be in the studio again next week as well, making some more content there. So I'll do some interviews, have some guests on, try to extract some knowledge from some other folks in the marketplace. Hopefully that will help make you smarter than everyone else. And of course, if you know someone who wants to buy or refi, have them give me a text, shoot me a call, send me an email, and I will not let you down. Over and out, team. Have a great weekend.